Today's guest is a chain-smoking, booze-swigging, beehive-wearing party girl, but only when she's playing the absolutely fabulous Patsy, of course. Today, we're joined by the real Joanna Lumley, the model, actress and campaigner, to tell us about a cause very close to her heart. Joanna, welcome to Loose Women. You know we always love to see you. And we wish it wasn't, you know, down the line on a computer screen, because we love to have you here in the studio, but it's nice to see you anyway. And we know you for so many causes, Joanna, and you're so passionate about everything you do. This is something I have to confess I hadn't heard of, hadn't given a second thought, because I hadn't heard of it. So you are working with marine conservation charities on something called Stop Sea Blasts campaign. Please explain to us and our viewers.
Listen, Ruth, the truth is that I didn't know anything about this. I have been supporting marine charities for a long time. But this came to me completely out of the blue because it's out of our sight. What happens when they put offshore wind farms in the North Sea and around the British Isles is that they have to clear the ocean bed. Now, what we didn't know is that there are over 100,000 tons of unexploded bombs and munitions lying on the seabed left over from World War II and World War I. And they have to be cleared away before the great stems for the wind farms can be put up. And so what they do, they explode them. They have a thing called high order detonation, which means they put a charge in and boom, it explodes, and then the bomb's gone. What the bomb has done then is spread a lot of toxicity around. It has absolutely destroyed the seabed. It has killed millions of fish, and it has, almost more importantly, destroyed the sonar system of whales and dolphins, which is how they get around, how they meet each other, how they feed, how they mate. It destroys that, so they don't know where they are. So they wander, they lose, they beach themselves, they starve to death. So this would be something we just go, well, hey, that's one of the collateral damages of having green power, which offshore wind farms certainly provide, except that there is an alternative, costing exactly the same. It's used by navies all around the world, including our Royal Navy, and has been for years. It's called deflagration. A tiny cone is pushed into the bomb, and it burns it out. So instead of a huge explosion like that, that's actually a very small bomb, but you can see how it boosts it out of the water. The deflagration technique has this effect. Look, that. Virtually nothing. So it's something that nobody knew about. I didn't know about. Nobody knows about now. We're just saying, please stop killing marine life like this. Please stop damaging.
If there's that solution, Joanna, you've just shown us, I can't even remember the words you used, they were too long. But if there's a solution, why are they still continuing with the old system?
Well, look, I think a lot of this is what people usually do. What they usually do is they go along when there's a bomb and they have some sort of way of detonating it, and it's quite exciting. You know, you see boom and you go, oh my God, that's huge, a huge bomb. It's just old practice. The truth is, when people have been using these new ones, it's just fantastic. I can't explain the difference. One bomb shooting all its toxic waste out into the ocean. This little thing which goes pop, and they put down something rather like a colossal shrimping net and just scoop it up and take it away for complete safety, and nothing is spread. Why haven't they used it? Well, they're all fairly pro it, to be fair. The government has nodded in agreement. DEFRA is showing great signs of all the great power manufacturers of the wind farms are going, this is really interesting, let's talk about it. But what we need is to step forward now and to stop these explosions now, because wind farms, offshore wind farms, are set to quadruple over the next 10 years, which means masses more marine life lost.
Now, Joanna, you're very, very good at getting your message across, but how are you getting through to the very top? Have you written to Boris?
I did, actually, Janet. I wrote to Boris, and I wrote to him as Prime Minister, and I wrote to Miss Simons, Carrie, if I may. And I know she won't mind me saying this, but then we didn't sort of hear anything. I'm going, oh no, have I offended them by writing to them together when this is... But actually a letter came back going, my God, your letter has been lost in the thing. Please forgive us. We're going to come back to it as soon as possible. So I think, because she's a really good green girl, so I'm hoping that will... people will say, start using this. Please think of it. Our Royal Navy has been using it for years. It's not something brand new or difficult or dangerous or more expensive. So that's why we're leaning on them, just saying, please. And I'm actually going to ask anybody who's watching this, just please sign up to the petition. It would make a world of difference. We've got over 100,000 signatures already. We're hoping for 150. it'll make such a huge difference.
Well, Joanna, if anybody can convince people to do that and push this forward, it is you, and already the Prime Minister's listening to you, so that's good. And let us know, keep us in touch with how that campaign goes. I can't have you here, you know I hate to do this to you, but I have to do it, because whenever I don't do it, everyone goes, why didn't you ask her about AbFab? So AbFab, we were all talking about it this morning. You know, the minute we hear your name, we go, oh, didn't you love AbFab? Wasn't it fantastic? And Frankie told us a very, very funny story of travelling with her mum and her best friend. You have to tell Joanna.
Yeah, we used to travel to France every year, big group of girls, and my mum and her friends used to drive, and they'd spend the whole, it was like 7 hours, going, go Eds, go, Eds, go, oh, you know, pretending to be you guys, and us in the back just being mortified of hearing this for 7 hours. But we used to love the show as well. So I wondered, you know, with your grandkids, how do they find Patsy?
Well, when they were quite little. You see, we started this 30 years ago. I mean, the first one went out in 1991. And so they were A, weren't born, and B, then they were too small. But as they've grown up, they're now jolly nearly 18 and 16. They've been allowed to watch them, and they do think it's funny. I mean, I do think they're quite pleased with me, but they do know it's acting. But the funny thing is that because although I think I look better with my hair up, because, you know, I just look so awful all the time, and I think it looks tidier and nicer up. If I put it up, I begin to turn into Patsy. So I have to be very careful how I
Can't help yourself.
Oh, Joanna, it's so amazing to meet you. I love watching all of your travel shows. You take me with you. I feel like I go on an absolute journey. Are you missing any of that travel during lockdown?
Yeah, like mad. Last year, we were supposed to do a huge travel thing, and it was cancelled because of the pandemic. So instead, we did a journey around this country. We did 3 programmes, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. We wanted to go to the Republic, but the lockdown commitments were such that we couldn't get there. And it was lovely, and it was thrilling for me because I do so much faraway travelling that quite often I don't know extraordinary places like, well, to me, extraordinary and exotic as Samarkand is Torquay and Whitby, because I've never been there and they're so magical. But I love this country, and I love meeting all the different people and the diversity here and the friendliness and the welcome. I felt proud and very happy and very humbled to be here. But later this year, it's off to the high seas again and off to the faraway lands. So that's going to be exciting.
We can't wait for that. Just very quickly, you and Patsy. Look, I've done it already, Joanna. That's because you put your hair up. You and Joanna met many years ago, worked together, I believe.
Yeah, I think I can't even remember what year, but my first memory of you was on a photographic shoot. Well, it must have been early 70s. Does that sound about right?
No, it's far too late, darling. It was earlier than that because I'd stopped modelling by 1967. It was 1966. That, I think, is the picture. I'm in the orange dress, and that's Jenny Smith.
Is that Janet in the purple?
No, I was in the background being an assistant. But that's how long Joanna and I have known each other. And you're a fabulous person.
That actually looks like a scene from AbFab.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Even those days, I was so impressed by Janet. She was such a phenomenal, she had such a force of character then. She was so beautiful, so tall. Well, we were all tall. We were all models and all kind of great lanky girls at that time. But tall and thin and funny, and she seemed so self-assured and woo, she was fabulous.
Oh,
she was
so
really
nice. She's still all those. She's still all those things,
so
Joanna.
nice.
That's why we love her. And you're all those things too. Listen, the Stop Sea Blast campaign. You'd like people to sign the petition. We wish you well with that. It's always fabulous to talk to you. Thank you so much, and come back any time.
Thank you, darlings.
Thank you too.
Like your sweetie darling.
Oh, love that.
I didn't want to ask her to say it, but she said it for us. Thank you, Joanna.